Good evening, everybody. Spring looks like it's heading in our direction anyway. I hope it's the same for everybody up there. And now, whatever you did, Marlene, it's gone. Everything is gone.
Everything's gone?
Yep.
You're fine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're transmitting, so just keep.
Sorry, everybody. We're just making some adjustments.
You're fine. You're transmitting, so just keep doing it. Oops, now you're off. Oh, okay. Okay, it lost it. I don't know what happened there. There you are.
There we are.
Okay.
We're back again. So we have a few questions for this evening. And sometimes the questions seem to be on a kind of a negative slant. And I think that's more related to a kind of inner frustration that happens in the personality. And I'll try and touch on that a little bit, but it is not negative in any way whatsoever. I think there's a lot, there's when you're involved with spiritual growth or developing, everybody thinks they want to go fast, and their personality creates a buffer zone against growing quickly. And it'll come out in some of the questions. It's hard to see, but if you can hear the tones of how you engage, you can start to notice it. It's kind of fascinating, actually. I've done this with myself many times, but let me try. I'll get on with the questions, and we'll see if we can hear it. The first question is from Delphina Snevely from British Columbia, and is there any evidence that energy flow increases the more you meditate? Is the flow the same intensity and you just are experiencing it differently? This is all one question, sort of. Are vortices just being stretched, and once they are stretched, you don't feel it again until the next stretch? Wow. Well, let's look at the first part of it. Is the flow of the same intensity, and you are just experiencing it differently? It is my perception and understanding, and by the way, you are trying to cultivate your own perception and understanding relative to your experience. Remember, keep reminding yourself of that, because it's not good enough to have only 1 or 2 or 10 people who are involved with perceiving. It's you are learning how to perceive yourself. And that's the key thing. You are learning how. And your expectation is different than the occurrence. We have an expectation from a point of view that relates to a personality, which is normal. And this must be that way because we are engaging daily with life. And life engages with us very much daily. We don't want to take our attention off of that engagement because it is what we've learned to do because it's valuable in our life. Now, when you're talking about meditation, meditation is a place where you learn how to be a little quieter and you try to uh, not be diverted away from being quiet, because in that quiet, when your eyes are closed, that's about 60 or 70% of our perception, or maybe even closer to 90, is involved with what you see and your assessments of what you see and what you value in what you see and what you don't value in what you see. These things. In fact, our dilemma is that those are younger than other levels of perception. Our first reflexes for a good 9 months is all involved with sensate material. It's not related to the body, it's related to a feel that is different than you reaching out and touching. It's a sensate thing. It's a perception that is older than all the rest of the five abilities to perceive. So, what you're really dealing with in meditation is you're attempting to quiet down the five senses. It's a strange thing to say. It's not possible to do that perfectly unless you've had many, many years of meditation and you have learned how to calm down your reflex reactions to anything that you might perceive. This is very difficult to do. Not easy, very easy to talk about as if you're doing it, but reality, a little bit more difficult. So when you meditate, what you're doing is extending the inner sensing beyond hearing, beyond seeing, and beyond touching. And you're attempting to engage with a deeper inner level, which is oscillating in you at any given time. So yes, in a way, you begin to perceive literally what is there. Now that's a kind of a first step. Now, not what's there when you're reacting, not what's there when you're engaging in a particular way that's protective, not what's there when you're trying to comfort yourself, because these are personality reflexes that are constructed by you and taught to you from others who have attempted to help you to survive in a way that seems valuable to them. And of course, you have a kind of a say in that. You right away don't necessarily follow those attempts to help you, because you are also attempting to engage personally yourself from very, very early ages in a world that is basically, initially, just basically unknown to you. And as you continue to go on, it becomes more known to you, but much of it is still unknown to you as I sit here talking to you. And you are there listening, perhaps. You are engaging with energy from me. I am engaging with energy from you. This happens to everybody every single day of their lives. The most important energy that you or way of engaging to you is not anything that comes out of my mouth. It's anything and everything that is comforting to you. because you've constructed this over the years of your present existence. That's only talking about your present existence. Also, within that is the interaction that you may have bleeding through from other lifetimes in the cultivation of a form, a personality form, you could say, but it's an energetic form, so that you can engage with a higher state than what you believe you need to be like. Now, that's a mouthful. Those vortices or chakras or Sephiroth or valves or whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you any better or worse, whatever you call them. Those systems are functioning in you relative to constructing of a personality, and it's helped you to construct what you believe a personality should be like, or what others believe a personality should be like. Or the need to have the attention of others in a certain kind of way that validates you, validates anybody. So these constructs are literally wondrous in their nature. They're not negative at all, but they are formed in a manner that relates to what you believe you need to be like, to be valued. Whatever that means, positive, negative, get attention, that's value. In doing this, you use the energy that is there to engage in a manner, whether it be cultivated through your mind, whether it be cultivated through reactions to the world around you, or whether it be cultivated physically, kind of, that relates to this is how I should be and I need to be. Otherwise, if I'm not like this, I'll not be really able to survive. This occurs also and comes out in the expression of your personalities, version of a human being you call your name, whatever your name is. Now, over the years, you value that necessarily and attempt to maintain it unknowingly most of the time, almost exactly the way it was, because it comforts you in that kind of manner. Your focus is on the outside, exterior. Our brains are not cultivated well enough yet to automatically perceive the inner world, because the brain makes sense of things. Cultivate the inner world, it's used to cultivating the outer world in the manner that your expression demands it do that. Each of us has these kinds of things that we do, that we call us, whatever that may be. Much of this is unknown to us, reflexive. We've been practicing these things for a long period of time. In my case, definitely a long period of time. Beginning to notice how you are with some honesty. Not only protecting, but you'll find you'll be protecting. Not only elevating or putting down aspects of you, depending on the day, but learning how to be sincerely interested in finding out how you function, but not necessarily do you have to change everything. That's not what it's about. It's about learning. That old adage that's in that Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist, Muslim, God, so many other ways of looking at things other than the big five. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Okay, all right, never mind that. There are people have written about this in all of the religious backgrounds, plus some backgrounds that are not in the big five. If you see things in you that you would not like to have expressed to you the way you do it, back away from it then the best you can. This has, and it's been in every written piece of information. Some believe that it's only in Christianity. That's not real. It's really basically involved with the Old Testament. But it's involved with everything else. Many other beliefs. Many wise people have recognized that this is very difficult to do because our perception levels are kind of self-oriented. And they have to be, to some degree, to survive. And survival is important. Now, what about this meditation thing? If you're really interested in internally growing, you can begin to watch while you're meditating inside and notice that you have responses inside you didn't even know you had. But they're there. Oh, you may say, oh, my tummy's aching, or my brows, I have a bit of a headache, or my neck is a bit tender, or my shoulders are a little bit, my back is a little bit tender every time I meditate, or that kind of thing. You are perceiving those things that may be there because of the intensity that you use to maintain exactly how you have been. That is not negative. It's just what happens. Or you may not want to notice that. Then you will build up a system. Part of the personality's normal uptake to cultivate a system that would counteract you finding something out that you might be uncomfortable with. We only do this 24 hours a day, every day of our life. This is an annoying thing to say, but you use the energy coming from these vortices. There's checks and balances in these structures, one could say. One also could say, but Ron, I thought it was supposed to be about loving. Those energies are loving. Yes, they are. You want to be this way or that way. It's loving enough to allow you to do that. So that eventually you might say, I think this is really a good way to be. This other thing, I don't know why I do it. Maybe I could soften that down. Maybe I could try to soften it down. And then you will find out that it has a mind of its own. You'll be given all kinds of circumstances where you will not be interested in doing anything different than what you've practiced for the last 30, 40, 50, in my case, 80 some odd years. Nothing negative about that. It's, if you're used to doing something, you get good at it. You don't have to tell yourself you're good at it. You express yourself, and somehow in that zone of comfort that lies within us all, it seems to fit. And so you say, my gut feeling is that it fits. Well, fine. But you're not looking at it from another point of view. But that's your business. You can't shift or change something too quickly that you depend on for the purpose of making you feel comforted by you. But it's like a discovery, an exploration into the inner worlds. And what you find in there is you. You don't have to take you in there to give you a hard time for being the you that you've cultivated to help you to survive under the circumstances that you've lived in. But you can take honesty in there. You can take gentleness in there. You can take respect in there. And you can take kindness in there. All of you laugh at my be kind. It opens the heart. But it does. At our stage in our development, we cannot afford to have our heart open all the time because it gives us a level of vulnerability and fear, nervousness, call it, about somehow having to be perfect at something that we can barely engage with. Spiritual growth is what it is. It's spiritual growth. It's not spiritual aim, accomplish, and being superior over everyone else. It doesn't work like that. That's really where you begin to feel discomfort. Something's off. There's another dilemma, still in the same way, because this is Delphina's question. Suddenly, a shift can occur in the personality itself. And this has been known for so long in everyone's inner growing, that all of a sudden you're faced with the fact that you're uncomfortable inside because something has changed. And what has changed is something in the core of your being that allows an opening to occur such that you suddenly are allowed to perceive some things within yourself and within others that you didn't see before. But you're still fixated on how you should be under certain circumstances. Something does this, then you react this way. Something does that, you react that way. You anticipate the meaning of everything. And you believe you know you're right. Increased energy coming into you allows you to recognize sometimes you're right and sometimes you're not. Also within yourself, when you assess things in yourself, you may assess them as negative and you may assess them as positive. If you look at them and take a look and say, oh, I do that sometimes, that's not negative. I wouldn't want that to come in my direction. You're being honest. You wouldn't. Let me see if I don't have to agree with myself in everything I do. I can try and do something slightly different, see if I can work that in. Then sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. Depends on the reflexive intensity that you stir up inside. Now that one can say is negative. I don't think so. What you're doing is reconstructing that which helped you before. I don't see anything negative there. The only thing that you might cultivate then is saying, ouch, I really am vulnerable under these circumstances. Vulnerability is not easy to deal with for anybody. I don't care who it is. Never is. So these changes can occur. More energy can flow into you, and you are becoming more sensitive to those energies that are flowing in you. Your responses are involved with these energies because you constructed a personality with it. And you use that energy to construct it in a particular manner. How you could see negativity in that, I don't know. Now, others may not like how you function because it bothers them, allows pressure to occur similar to an unknown pressure in you that is created by intensity or faking it, or just you have no other idea what to do. So you do what you practiced. The trick in this is observing you, watching you do that, and you're going to miss a good part of it. It is allowed in real spiritual development. Is not called for perfection. It's called for understanding internally by you, recognizing at first how you do it, then slowly realizing that something is changing inside. And then you have to be, when you look at your dearest friends and realize you're seeing stuff in them you never saw before. Why have I got them as a friend? Now you need compassion. Now you need to not necessarily agree with you, because you practiced agreeing with you all these years. If you're 10 or 15 or 20, not that many. I think you get my drift there. But the issue is awareness is getting broader on the inside. Personality is saying, no, I don't want to be that broad. I don't want to see everything. I will dictate what I want to see. It's a natural position of self-protection. You'll do anything not to meditate. You'll forget it. People have forgotten how to meditate and didn't even know they were forgetting it. This is natural and normal. Once you figure it out, walk over somewhere and sit down. Even if you spend 15 minutes or 10, closing your eyes, ignoring what you have to do, unless you have to go to the bathroom, you better pull that plug out. Nothing except dying and needing it to get to the hospital immediately can interfere with you sitting there. I don't care if the phone rings, let it ring. We have answering services now. If somebody leaves a message, get back to them. You are a growing being of consciousness. You've begun, but you've also begun your relationship with attempting not to go too deep too fast. And it is a frailty that we all face. So remember that when you're dealing with other people or talking to other people and they don't meditate as much as you do someday. You're just doing you. They are attempting to do them. Change it around. You attempt to do you differently. It is difficult to be tremendously sincere about inner growth because of the nature of us. You remember the story I have often told when Marion was in New Jersey, and we had a seminar on, not too many people, 10, 15, something like that, I don't recall. And we had a rap on the door, and Mary got up, she answered the door, and this gentleman said, I heard that you are having a meditation seminar this weekend. He said, okay, if I join. I used to meditate every single day. And I did this for years and years. And all of a sudden in the 70s, and I know what that year was, where a lot of people drifted away because too much energy was coming in. It was 1973. And he said, would you mind if I join in? And I said, and Mary said, is it okay, Ron? And I said, absolutely. We're just going to meditate right now. And I warned him, I'll probably talk for about an hour and we'll meditate for about an hour. And we did. We meditated. When the day was finished, he said to me, back in the early 70s, I got spooked. Something was changing inside of me, and I was really afraid that it would change my whole engagement with life. And I found that I loved the way I was. And I said, wow, first step, learning how to love the way you are, and then seeing how you are and not loving it as much, but loving the fact that you might begin to be able to shift it just a little bit, and you're falling in love with you in a different way all over again. And he said, but you don't understand. When I sat down to meditate, I was right back in 1973. Nothing had changed. I hadn't meditated for years. My son and daughter are in university and they're almost finished. And my wife and I are going to be on our own. And I thought I'd just try the meditation thing again. And I've been successful in business after that, using a Nashville. And I said, why would you think that you wouldn't be back to where you were before when you'd cultivated so much in that consistent meditation method, whatever it was? Doesn't really matter that much. I shouldn't say that out loud. But your energy, where it was then, and where you cultivated it to be, you just used to augment things in your life so you could function and have a family and send them off to school. And now, you don't go back to where you began. You go back to where you are. Where you are. You grow through you where you are. And learn how to be respectful for that. Your personality is an energy form. You are internally an energy form. Your perception of those vortices or chakras or zephyrat is kind of incremental. Allow it to be incremental. Closer you are to the physical form, the more you'll notice them. You may have had a perception at another timeline. You'll begin to notice it. You still have to deal with it here because you've constructed a new form. identified with it, valued it, fell in love with it. Pride is a form of love. You're proud of it. If you negate it, your very act of negation becomes a form of loving. You put it down. How great I am for putting it down. People don't think like this. But these are actions of love. You created a system for survival. It's an act of loving. Use love to help you to love. We just don't understand things that way. You will continue to grow. Sometimes you will continue to fight not to remember that you're growing, or attempt not to perceive, or you'll feel you're not worthy of it, or you'll feel you're so worthy you should be growing 10 times quicker, and you'll make it a competition. There's no competition in this. You grow through you, and you attempt to understand you to the best of your ability with kindness and respect. If you've learned how to use a particular way of engaging with life, and then you have to pick holes in it to create a new one, it's nonsense. You're not picking holes in anything. You're cultivating a different place in your mind, a different place in your emotional thrust of energy, even physical orientation with respect to energy. Each one of these systems affect each other. So what you're doing is continuing to broaden out how you see your life form and begin to understand that that's only at this level, and learning how to soften that down a bit as your assessment process gets stronger. Because once we start believing that these are the rules and these are the regulations, it's just like all the other rules and regulations that we've had. Our personality attaches itself to them. So letting that meditation be helpful. I've heard many people say, oh, I've grown way beyond meditation. It's not real. Think of it this way. You have grown to a place where meditation is consistent, whether your eyes are open or whether your eyes are closed. You have grown to a place where you see you as you are, the good stuff, the not so good stuff, and the whole bunch of other stuff in between. You understand that it's easy to interfere with how a higher state might want you to act than it is to have for you to let go and have a higher state operating in you. This is normal for us in our stage of development on these planes. However, if you can muster a willingness to be receptive to growing beyond what you think growing is, and to engage with that loving as if you love it, and it, in loving it, is loving you, because you are aspects of that it. Life itself is vital. Fundamentally, existence is vital. And that is quite a different version of Star Trek, the Star Trek that Joel and I were talking about this morning. These centers tend not to open until you can handle them better, and tend not to force their way into a vessel that would be overcome by too much flow. And there are different levels of energy flow, not only relative to our natural, normal personality recognition. And it carries a big responsibility, and you know this better than I, probably, that as you grow, you continue to attempt to want to grow more. There's kind of a sense of value or urgency that goes with it, that is straight and honest, because we happen to live on the planet Earth, and we are a species. And at the core of our species is us. That us goes 8 billion ways. And this is a very valuable thing to think about. We need help. Thinking about this in a manner that is subtle and generous and kind and respectful to others in relationship to living life here. Wow. You and I and everyone else on the planet knows from time to time that it's difficult just to let yourself open enough, because we fear being taken advantage of. That fear of being taken advantage of doesn't go away in your process of growth, because it's in you already. You've dealt with it every day of your life in a kind of a way that is kind of subliminal. For some, it's been very much on the surface. For others, very subliminal. Wouldn't recognize it in themselves if they saw it. But the personality is as an energy form based on habit and reoccurring engagement in certain ways of using this energy in our life form, or the way we live, doesn't want to change that much. Be okay with that, but don't necessarily agree with it. This is a kind of difficult area for us to even consider, because we're not used to considering those kinds of things. There might be that third part I'm checking just to make sure. She asks, are vortexes just being stretched, and once they are stretched, you don't feel them again? At first, that is true, honestly. But you got to remember, when those vortices are stretched, more energy is coming in to solidify how you think life should be, because you are the one who's in love with the way you function. Same is true for me, same is true for anybody. So love helps love to the point where you begin to be able, in your mind, in that gap that's created within, you begin to notice that this is what you're doing. And everyone, to some degree, does this. Very difficult to allow that understanding to percolate in a manner that doesn't make you come up with some kind of defensive response. Now, happens every day. It's okay if it does. To be constructive, you have to be okay with seeing what's there. To be constructive, I mean to be compassionate with others that you'll see stuff in. Remember, your personality is doing the assessing. You've trained it to do that. If it broadens out, you will see their love for being the way they are. It's an act of love. So you will see love in them. And you'll understand that the same kind of love is in you. You just do it a little different, use it a little bit differently. Keeping that in mind, you'll know that they hurt like you do. They love like you do. They assess and judge the way you do. Sure, at different places, maybe. Maybe the same places do. Or they act as if the way you do. So be generous and respectful and forgiving the best you possibly can. This is not easy to do because we're not trained that way. We're trained to talk like that, but our actual expression is different. That energy will help you to perceive beyond the relationship that you have with you currently. Currently, bit by bit. Be okay with that. Best you can. You grow through you. Talk to yourself about that. Unless you have a wonderful friend or partner where you can talk openly about almost anything, you're better to be talking to you. It's one of the pieces of equipment that sages have used for eons of time. They've used silence within themselves so they can see better and negotiate with themselves to be helpful with themselves. Best they can handle it, little by little. I think we're almost to the point where we can meditate. Thanks, Delphina, for that. There's a number of questions that interact with that same kind of thing, and that indicates that other people are naturally running into forgetfulness about meditating and reminding themselves that they're just trying to watch a movie, the movie of themselves, and be okay with that and not negate it, but try to understand it best you can. I wish you well. Close your eyes soon, and we will be meditating. And I wish you all well with that. Don't forget to ask for help in your relationship with higher states, and ask for help for everyone else, including yourself, whoever you meditate with, whenever you meditate. with others. Good night, everybody. We will again say good night. And right now, we're just going to go ahead and meditate. There will be some music as well.
Shakti Sundari Namastasye Namastasye Namo Namaha Mahamaye Mangali Namastasye Namastasye Namo Namaha Mahakali Bhairavi Namastasye Namo Namaha Mahalakshmi Vaishnavi Namastasye Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Durga Devi Shankari Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. Mamba Lalita Devi
Jagadambe Janani
Namo Namaha. Sarvamangalamangalaye Shive sarvarthasadhike Sharanye Triambake Devi Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Shanti, Shanti, Shringaramachyasthaye Namo Namaha. Himachalamahapakshapavanaye Namo Namaha.
Shankaradhanga Saundarya Shariraye Namo Namaha. Sanvarakatasmacha Vigrahaye Namo Namaha. Adishaya Saundaya Lavanyaye Namo Namaha. Shakashikara Pranavallabhaye Namo Namaha. Panchadasharnekya Swarupaye Namo Namaha. Vajramanitya Kataka Kirikaye Namo Namaha. Kasturi Tilakola Sanitilaye Namo Namaha. Asmare Kanti Jalasanmastakaye Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha. Janadanaye Namo Samuchaya Kandarani Namo Namaha. Lamukta Paludara Suharani Namo Namaha. Shabakamangalya Mangalaye Namo Namaha. Sham Kushala Satkarajaye Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha. Suparnakalpayurmabhasukchaye Namo Namaha. Ramaniya Chaturbahu Samyuktaye Namo Namaha. Murabushitaye Namo Namaha. Sौन्दर्यवासनाय नमो नमः। प्रहल्लितं वह्निरसजगनाय नमो नमः। सौभाग्यजातशृङ्गारमध्यमाये नमो नमः। दिव्यभूषणसन्दोहरञ्जिताये नमो नमः। पारिजातगुणाधिक्यपदाब्जाये नमो नमः। Chandrikaye namo namaha. Yakatakshaye namo namaha. Shakti Samarkaye Namo Namaha. Ekatavata Samrajakaye Namo Namaha. Sanakari Samarajakaye Namo Namaha. Valishnistu Yamana Bhavaye Namo Namaha. Kala Shubhavaturvasa Uchitaye Namo Namaha. Shakvarkavatsalaya namo namaha. Chakraraja Mahayatra Madhyavartinye namo namaha. Shankakanda Samyukta Muktaye Namo Namaha. Savatu Mandagamanaye Namo Namaha. Surya Samyukta Prakashaye Namo Namaha. Ratnachintamanikriyha Madhyasthaye Namo Namaha. Aditya Namo Namaha. Madhyanivasaye Namo Namaha. Chakra Sushuptinam Sakshi Bhutye Namo Namaha. Mahapapapapanam Vinashiye Namo Namaha. Dushtabhiti Mahabhiti Panchataye Namo Namaha. Samasta Deva Danuta Prakaye Namo Namaha. Samastahridayambujalilayaye namo namaha. Mahapadmamandiraye namo namaha. Sahasrara sarojatavasitaye namo namaha. Pranavritirahitapunastaye namo namaha. Gayatri Savitri Samyuktaye namo namaha. Namaha Sudharaja Padapchaye namo namaha. Srimacharanaye namo Sahasraricha Saundarya Shariraye namo namaha. Hridayaye namo namaha. Satyasampurna Vijnana Siddhidaye namo namaha. Shrilochanakritolasapalladaye namo namaha. Sudhaktimanitvipamadhyamaye namo namaha. Sadhanaye namo namaha. Shobhitaye namo namaha. Chandrasekhara Parvati Anjanaye namo namaha.
And now we'll just begin to do the balancing and grounding. And have a good evening. Take care, everybody.